All right, so I think we're getting ready to go. Here we go. Okay, so we're up and going. Waiting on some people to get into the room. But this is CryptoFib and at CryptoChartsJoe, getting things ready to go here. So it's going to take about another minute or so for people to filter in. So let's give it just a minute.
Sounds good. We'll go from there.
Give it just a couple of minutes here before let some people filter in.
Tell you what, you see how they saved the market today? You know, retail folks, you know, leaving for the weekend, 3-day long weekend. There's no way they could have let that market sink. You know what I mean?
Right.
So they came in and saved it at the end of the day. Pretty you know, you got a low for guys coming into the last minute. Let me see here.
Okay, so I got 3 people in here. Can somebody do a sound check for me? Are we sounding okay right now? And I know there's going to be like a 2 or 3 second delay. Hey Vaughn, welcome in, man. Appreciate it. How's the sound? Are we okay? Joe, you want to go ahead and say a couple of things and just make sure?
Oh yeah, I think we'll start out on the monthly.
Well, I was going to say this is just a sound test, real quick. Yeah.
Yeah. I'm trying this new bigger deal, so we'll see if this works.
Okay. All right. Well, everybody says sound is good, so Joe, let's kind of get it going. I know what we're going to do, folks, is we're going to talk about Bitcoin because obviously that's what leads the market and what everybody wants to see and look at, and they want to know where it's going, why it's going there, are we going down, you know, whatnot. So what you're seeing right now is you're seeing one of Joe's charts, and I'm going to kind of let him, you know, take a look at it and kind of go with it. And then once he's done, I'll post you my futures chart, which I did in Discord, but I'll go over that after Joe's done. So Joe, take it away, buddy.
Oh, appreciate it, and appreciate everyone coming in tonight and taking a look at what we have to offer as far as the charts and some additional information. Let's go ahead and get right to it. Let's start with the monthly chart of Bitcoin. And like JR was saying, this is kind of like the S&P 500, the SPY, you know, ETF, or, you know, this is kind of what everyone follows. But to get right in, we just started a new monthly candle right here where the pointer is. We finished this one up for August, obviously, then this will start September. And this is fairly bullish. We weren't green, if it had been green, you know, like some of these other, like this one here, if it had been green like this, that'd been like mega bullish. But, you know, this is, you know, off to a good start nonetheless. Because the higher up, you know, this candle you go, the more buying that there is. And I compare it to this one over here somewhat. This is a perfect bull flag coming down, and then, you know, solid here, and then we took off. The rest is history. So this is kind of what I'm, you know, looking at right now, stayed above the 20 month moving average. And then now let's go to the weekly right quick. Get that out. Pull this for y'all. And this is that monthly back here, and you can see where it was spot up. And at first glance, yeah, that to me, this is the last 3 weeks, and that's definitely, you know, appears to be and possibly could end up being a bear flag, meaning it'll go up, you know, the rest of this week, then maybe next week come back down. It could. But let me put a little bit of a positive note on here, and you'll see how this, you know, comes together as we look through the different time periods out here. And I'm going to bring this trend line down. And, you know, this, JR and I Joe, you kind of back me up on this. These trend lines, they break out. People follow. This is how it works in the S&P 500. You know, the legacy market, thing else. It'll break out. People will jump in, and then they'll pull it back. People will go on, like, made a mistake. They'll get out. So exchanges make money coming in, going, and as soon as it hits again, it takes off.
Exactly.
Now, if we had a candle like this for this, a couple of weeks ago, or this one, we'd probably be hitting $10,000-$11,000 right now, because that's a big bull signal. And while we're kind of floating up, I'm not for sure with all the bullishness we'll get into, a little bit regarding news updates and what's coming down the pipe. So this, maybe this will be a little bit higher for this week. It'll be 7 p.m. Central Sunday. We'll start a new week. So maybe we can get over that, 12 and maybe the 20. That'd be 7,400. But that's another story for the daily. So, it's doing perfect the way it's supposed to do. They'll break out and retest, have a reboot and take off again. That's why I would be right now, probably more bullish than bearish. And then I'll show you that on the daily. But really the weekly kind of runs the world. But let me go to the 3-day and even a lot of stuff will use the 3-day because it kind of calms things down and kind of between the weekly and the daily. And again, that's why I wanted you to remember this trend line. See where all this consolidation over here, the retest.
Beautiful chart, by the way, because that just shows the consolidation and it, not only that, but it shows the major support area. And if you can, just real quick, can you go back to that weekly chart real quick? I want to show something real quick. All right, so this is my pointer focus. Look back here, guys. Okay, see this long doji right here, and you see the long end out of it. That is major support. Okay, so keep it in mind. Anything below this, and we've got some problems. Okay, we're going to have some problems if we go below this. So all those that are calling for 5,000 or whatnot, that's fine. But I'm just saying, if we go below this, it's going to be trouble. But that right there was a major reversal. It came down. Now it's going into consolidation mode, and it's trying to hold that area. So just keep that in mind. Okay, sorry, Joe. Go ahead.
No, that's fine. Let me go back to that 3-day. That shows what this trend line. This is a powerful trend line. It comes down. Couldn't get over it here. It broke out here. It came up, retested, and now we're trying to float up. And this is a better float right here. See how it's just kind of, just gently going up.
Absolutely.
They're not running it up. They're controlling this. This is not going to be another November, December year. I think it will be at some point. I think we will get another, just can't, no one can get in fast enough type move. But we'll talk about that a little bit later. And then, I'll say that for the day. Let me show you. Okay, now that's a 3-day. Each candle is 3 days worth of price action trading. Okay, now right here is what I want to show you. Okay, again, the daily, how it comes down. It met. We pull in here pretty easy. This one even came down lower, and then everybody, it bought up. And, I hate to call bottoms, but I don't know if this thing keeps running. That day right there, that candle might have been the bottom, for right now.
Very possible.
But this 200, and I'll go over that here in a minute. That's something to look out for. And then, let me show you this. Let me take this. You got to look at these things every which way, because they're going to try to trick you. All right, so we'll bring it up on top, bring it down like this, which is a, okay, read it. All right, so right here, and dipped down real low. Everybody thought, oh, that was it. Remember the other day? Everybody thought, Wednesday, I think it was. Everybody go, okay, that's the end of the world. Right now, it's going. Anyway, came down, touched. I don't even know if it touched the 12 EMA, but it got kind of close. And now we're just kind of floating here, consolidating. But we can go either way, but that's still a positive. We're above the 12 and definitely above the 20. So, I'm not going to get negative until it requires me doing so.
No, exactly. Exactly.
Yeah, right here you have this, 50% right here, right where that trend line. That trend line means something. I mean, all these days right here, for about a week or so, I tried to get through it and couldn't. And this trend line goes back to December, so this does mean something. But anyway, if we can we're giving that retest down in here, try to wash some people out, and then try to make another run for it.
Yeah.
But one thing I will guarantee, and I want to hear your side too, when we break it, we will come back and touch it just like we did. I previously showed you on the, weekly and 3-day chart. We'll come back and try to come back and kiss it unless there's something major on the fundamental side, that jars a lot of people. And then just coincidentally, the 0.78 is right up here with the 200.
Oh, totally agree. Totally agree. And then one thing I want to point out real quick, and I know a lot of people, and this is for newcomers, and people that are new to charting and, and whatnot. And if you'll leave that chart right there, Joe, here's something people are trying to ask about and they're curious about because they've seen head and shoulders patterns, right? And right here, a lot of people were going, well, this is a head and shoulders pattern. Here's the shoulder, here's the head, and here's the shoulder. Folks, head and shoulders patterns do not happen in a downtrend. Okay? They don't. You have to be at the top of a major trend, and right here you can see we had a long downtrend and then we came up. This is not a major uptrend. You're looking for something that's at the top, okay? And that's why we look at inverse head and shoulders, the reverse, okay? So I just wanted to point that out because there's people that have questions about that, and it just doesn't happen. That's not a head and shoulders pattern. So.
Yeah. And then, speaking of that, when I first broke out trying to, do charts and stuff, and this is, kind of a little off the subject, but kind of in the same wheelhouse that JR and I both are in, is that, that's why we're doing all this for free and have the, the other things we'll be coming out with, the website, and of course we're both on Twitter and stuff, is that the gentleman, his handle was Black Truck, and he told me about the candlesticks and other things, and other people too. But anyway, he was it started out back in 2005, May of 2005. First stock I ever bought was, and it was at the top. I don't think it ever had gone as high as what it did when I bought it, but that's another story.
Right.
But anyway, Chesapeake Energy, and if I honestly, if I'd known then what I know now, I would have been doing positive what I did. But anyway, speaking of the head and shoulders, he said markets do not do shampoo. Now,
Right.
a lot of times, he was right about that, and that's one of the reasons that you mentioned that in a down market type situation. But anyway, moving right along. So yeah, we're just consolidating here, and now another important little tidbit is this green line is the 50-day moving average, and a high percentage of your hedge funds, mutual funds, investment funds, retirement funds, those type of guys, they don't touch anything unless it's above the 50, and that's considered bullish, because most of the time whenever the price is above 50, these other lines down here, your 10, your 20, everything else is going to be above it. And let me see if I can show them that. Anyway, like right in here, everything's up, so there's not much to worry about.
Right.
And then one crashes, like honestly, if you got in, back where if you FOMO'd in back here, if you were one of the hedge funds or something, the only thing you had on your chart was a 50.
Right.
And you got in, when they got over the 50 in September and rode it up and then got out right here. And then you just kept your money.
Pretty healthy gain, isn't it? It's a pretty healthy gain.
Right. So that's just, something for people to think about. Or even the 20. In other words, if there was a retired grandmother or someone out there, and, I might have them use just the 20 and the 50.
Right.
A third or a half out if it drops below the 20, and then the rest out when it drops below the 50. And do the reverse and go back up. Now you might get washed in and out a few times, but for the most part you're going to be pretty conservative and ride it up pretty good and be out during the bad times. So anyway, you don't have to be, trust me, you don't have to be an absolute genius to figure this stuff out.
Right.
I couldn't do it.
Well, let me real quick. Let me before we go on any further. Does anybody have any questions right now? Because we've been kind of talking for a little bit, and we want to see if anybody has any questions. I mean, we're not going to do chart requests just yet, but I just want to see if anybody has any questions.
Yeah, over what we did, the trend line, consolidation.
Yeah. Does anybody have any questions about that?
Yeah.
I'm seeing some stuff on Twitter. It says the feed keeps breaking up, but awesome content. So we're gonna have to fix the feed content. I'm just gonna see if I can, Joe, if you want to go ahead and talk, I'm gonna see if I can do something real quick to fix that.
Yeah. Well, I haven't even hit the big part, the fundamental part, the backside of the price, and what makes the prices go up. What the guys are doing now in Wall Street, literally the NASDAQ, ICE, which owns the New York Stock Exchange, and then the new exchange that they're developing. Actually, it is developed. They're just waiting for approval back. And everyone that's on here that's on Twitter, you need to follow at BAKKT back. That's going to be probably one of our biggest friends in the exchanges on Wall Street. The reason being is that all their transactions, they're actually going to be buying the coin. That's a big deal. They're not going to be, just buying paper, buying air, whatever, like a lot of these exchanges. They're actually going to have a physical coin, and it's going to suck a lot out of, circulation, so to speak. And the less you have, what does that mean? The higher the price is going to go up. And a little background on these guys. They're one of the biggest exchanges, if not the biggest in the world, number one. Number two, back in 2015, wasn't that long ago, but it was a few years back, they became a minority owner of Coinbase. And so, they had to put in some homework before that. Companies just don't go out and, snap up or buy into another company just on, whim. So they've been planning, scheming, thinking about this for a while, a number of years. They'll have it all lined down, and I'm sure they'll get, as soon as they're ready to go, they'll get approval. And I want to say it'll be in November is when they should do that. And then their competitor, the NASDAQ, a lot of people think of them as the stock exchange, which is true and everything, but they also are getting into the crypto side. Now, think about this as well. They both, because of the exchanges they have, the dozens of futures markets, ETFs, etc., they already have a client base. And the only thing they have to do, and they've already done, is have their salespeople and marketing people to, market and sell to their already built-in client base. It's already set up, accounts are already there. Boom, overnight, they can be ready to go into this crypto space. So that's why I believe you could see some big runs literally overnight as soon as these guys start coming in. And it doesn't have anything
Absolutely.
On all of these. And these guys are fighting, you know, having a street fight to see which one can get into the space first. Because there is that first mover, you know, advantage, getting in there, getting the clientele, and maybe even stealing some of your competitors' clientele to come over to buy in to do it. And I believe a lot of the, you know, mainstream people that just maybe have heard of Bitcoin on TV or in passing or something, as soon as they're exchange, as soon as they're the company that they do their 401k with, or their company's, you know, retirement plan with, as soon as those guys start coming up, you know, with vehicles to invest in this area, this sector, I can see, you know, a lot of people take those salaries, okay, it must be real, legitimate, so on and so forth, and jump in. And then somebody else you need to follow, if you haven't already, was Bitcoin Ben. And I stole all this from him. You know, hey, I'm out here, I want the sponge. I'll take whatever I can get from anybody, massage it and use it, you know, to my advantage. And the people that, you know, follow JR and I, okay, that's what we did best. Okay, there's going to be a company, they're already in the formation, pretty soon going to be picked out. I don't want to give a date on that, but it's called HODL it, like HODL it. And basically what it is, and I'm just giving a, you know, Reader's Digest version, there's going to be a roundup option for you.
Joe, let me real quick. I'm sorry to cut you off. Let me type that in the channel. How do you? What is it? HODLIT?
Yeah, that's what I'm thinking. HODLIT.com.
Oh, wait a second. All right.
Yeah, it was a few months ago. I was one of the first. Well, they had the first 1,000 people got the app. We'll receive the app first, and they got a.
God, it's trying to record too. Golly, this thing is really jacked up tonight. All right. All right, there we go. Okay, guys, I'm sorry. I'm so sorry about that. I had to restart the video feed. There was something going on with it, so I had to restart it. And so let me get Joe's chart back up there. All right, let's see if that works or not. There we go. All right, sorry guys, I apologize. Okay. All right, Joe, go ahead.
Okay, yeah, one more thing about the, you know, adoption stuff and everything before I do this chart here. This chart here is real good. I'm breaking it down now because it's 4 hour. But just right quick, the guys watching, they can look at this, so I'm not blowing at them. They did an interview. There's a Coinbase article about mass adoption. The CEO back in the 15th of this month stated that last year they were averaging about 500 signups per day. Okay, and then they topped out. And I know, you know as well as I do when that was October, November, probably the November, December area. Okay, they were doing 500 a day. Then they jumped up to 50,000 per day. Okay, not per week, 50,000 per week. No wonder their systems were, you know, being shut down. I'm telling what Bitcoin and everything else would have run to if that the infrastructure built to handle, you know, whatever 1,000% move that is from 500 to 50,000. And during 2017, they did over 150 billion US dollars in sales, which is, you know, not too shabby. And then, according to Cliff High, another smart guy you folks need to follow. Anyway, he was saying that this mass adoption, at some point in time, you know, you're going to have that 50,000 per day, you're going to have that per hour. Okay, that's worldwide, which is kind of hard to think about, but not really. If you look at the business of people out there, at some point in time will be, you know, getting all that. But this, you know, bank account for different reasons. But everyone can have, you know, if you have a phone, you can get, you know, an app and an online wallet.
Right.
Okay, so that kind of makes the playing field a little bit bigger. But anyway, here we go. Bitcoin again on the 4-hour chart. And this top blue line, interestingly enough, that's what we've been looking at since the weekly. Okay, it's right up here coming down. And then back here in the middle of August, coming up, we had this trend line right here coming. And we're just making, you know, higher highs and higher lows and just turning through here. And also, note, since around the 23rd, we've been above the 50s. So everything's been kind of lining up, so to speak. And then the 200, we finally got above it, came back, tested it, and then here we go again. Then we have this 50 crossing up through the 200. Now on the daily, the 4-hour, yeah, that's good, that's cool, you know, that's noteworthy. But if this was the daily, that's a powerful, when you say, Jerry, that's a powerful bullish indicator. A lot of people look at that as...
It is. I'm going to point out one thing real quick, though. If you look at this moving average and you see it sloping down like this, at some point, okay, at some point, these things are going to move up, right? But at some point, this has got to start hooking up, and it's going to get retested, right? So, and that's your 50 right there, right, Joe?
Oh, look, you talking about the green one, where the corner is?
Yeah, well, this one right here that's sloping down, that's your 50, right? Yeah, so, yeah, at some point that thing is going to have to, like, level out and start going sideways and then hook up. So just keep that in mind, guys. It'll come back and test it at some point.
Well, he's talking about, what Jerry's talking about is over here. See, it's sloping down, then we got above it. See, it's coming down. See how it's coming down all the way, and then it started, you know, kind of churning back up.
Yeah.
Yeah, something like that. Okay. Yeah, so anyway, that's the 4-hour chart here. Let me go point out pretty much things so I can just go every candle's hour rather than 4, obviously. And then nice little, you know, little flag here with these, you know, consolidation, then backing down. So we had a big run, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 hours, 6 hours of a run, and then it came down, you know, just to kind of rest, pause, and then hopefully we can make another run. Now 7100, I hope I'm not getting ahead of you, but this 7100 is right here, and you see this consolidation, and you know we just couldn't get over it. So that's, to me, that's going to be the next probably little, you know.
It's going to be a test. It's going to be a test for sure. Yeah, because when you see a long wick coming out the top like that, that's resistance. That is resistance right there. So, guys, keep that in mind. When you see long wicks coming out the bottom or the top, and you get a small body like that, that just means that's major resistance or major support. So keep that little number right there in mind. If it gets past that, then we're coming over and testing the highs, right, Joe?
Right. I think we will.
I agree.
Yeah, I think we're on track to do it. I don't really have a rhyme or reason, you know, a fundamental reason other than, you know, there's people out there, all the information I just went over, you know, there's people a lot, you know, higher up as far as, you know, connections and money. They know this, you know, I know the same and more of this stuff maybe collected. But there's still, let's just go ahead and talk about it. There's still, you know, there's still a lot of naysayers out there, and they, you know, anything happening in cryptos, I don't know. As positive as, you know, it's everything is, as far as the fundamentals and everything in the pipeline that's being built, and it's going to be just like blown out the end of it here pretty quick. There's still some negative sentiment out there. Maybe it's because of, you know, this whole downtrend here. hit the highs, and then we come down, but we tested this, came back up. We didn't even test it again. We hit it again. Now, if we come down and break through it, like you were saying earlier, that 5,800, yeah, we could, be in a hurt locker pretty quick.
Oh, yeah.
But, at the same time, coming in this time of year and, those other things coming online, I don't know, it's just hard to,
well, yeah, it's always hard to predict. I mean, and here's my point, is that nobody knows, right, exactly where this thing's going. I mean, we can sit here and talk about it all day long, and we can think we know what's going to happen, but all we can do is give our best advice and opinions on where we think it's going to go. So when you see somebody saying, on Twitter, and they're talking about, oh, it's going to 3,000 or 1,000 or whatever, then, all I got to say is like, hey, good for them. If they think that's where it's going, fine. I mean, that's their opinion, but you don't have to believe it, right? So don't take reactions and base your trades on somebody that's trying to give you a $1,000 target on Bitcoin, and you're just going to sit there and wait and wait and wait until it hits it. It just doesn't work that way, guys. You can sit here and trade, and you can sit here and trade this. It's like, so I'm looking right here. Here's my, this is the futures chart of Bitcoin, right? Okay, and I posted this in Discord, but I watch this indicator all the time, and it's a squeeze indicator, right? So when I see right here where I got my mouse, okay, see what happens after it? You get the huge move. That means it's firing long. And you usually get about 6 to 7 bars, maybe 8 at the most, before it starts to turn its downtrend. Well, look what's happening over here. And then it's closed. This candle is closed now. So we're getting a long firing off right here. Okay? So if we come in Monday, well, the markets aren't open on Monday, so it's going to be Tuesday. Yeah, we will be. Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, because it trades 24/7. But my guess, okay, and this is just a guess in my opinion, and I could be totally wrong, but I just think that what's probably going to end up happening is that we could shoot up over the weekend and then fall back down and then not make much of a gap. Okay, so that's something to watch for. Just watch for a spike up and then a move down, and we may open up right here at 70, what is that, 70.40? But we're going to go fill the gap, okay? I'm just telling you right now, we're filling that gap at 72.70. That's my opinion. I'm sticking to it. And there was somebody else that made fun of it and said, oh, it's going to be funny when we fail at this gap or whatever. And I'm like, you don't know that. I mean, but that's their opinion. That's fine. But I think we're going to fill the gap, and then we'll come back down, and then eventually maybe go back up. We'll see. I could be wrong.
Oh, gotcha. Well, is that the chart that I have up, is that kind of the same one you're looking at, basically?
What do you got? You got, is that, oh, Trading Views. Yeah, Trading Views futures are different. They're a little bit different than what I've got.
Okay, well, what JR was talking about, see this gap right here? Okay, over here it came up, that's what we call filled it.
Right.
So you can line it up, and this hole is filled with price action.
Mm-hmm.
Right here, this is a gap down here. It gapped up, it came down, part of it was filled, right here, but we definitely filled it over here. You know what I mean? Even at that low. See, it went from way up here, it came back.
Yeah. Gaps fill, don't they, brother? They fill, don't they?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And then this arrow here is the one that I'm looking at now. And that might be what you're talking about, that 7,200.
It's 72.70.
Whatever.
I got the exact number. It's 72.70.
Oh, okay. Gotcha. Now, let me show you this in the legacy deal, the stock market. Anyway, what do we got over here? We got a huge gap. See right here? This is Facebook for anybody that's interested. Okay. Let me take all these secret lines out here. Anyway, we got a gap fill, and at the gap support.
Exactly.
Right? See where Facebook did it, came up, hit it, came down, retested, bull flag, it came up, and now it's consolidating. But as a 200 above it,
it looks like it's going to go down and fill that gap, Joe. I mean,
that's what I'm saying.
It's going to go fill this gap over here, and then you got this huge gap here, right over in here. Look at that. That's going to get filled at some point. Now, it could be years down the road, but it's going to get filled, right?
So basically has the potential of, coming back down here and getting filled around 160, 161. That's where I would put my order in. I just put a fishing lotto play. If I was into this, but I'm just telling you just an example of how this works, in all markets. If it's an asset, and people are, betting on it and, buying it and selling it, then all this will be pretty relative. But anyway, that's just kind of an example there. I'll go back to bit. Y'all want anything else? Anybody?
Yeah, let's see if anybody's got any questions. All right, guys. So we've blabbered on, and I'm sorry. 45 minutes. Okay. So.
Is anybody interested in knowing how we do things in a get in, get out in a bear market?
Yeah. Does anybody have any questions at all? Any questions whatsoever? And I know there's probably a ton of people that have chart requests, but is there any questions about the technical side or how we come up with what we do and whatnot?
Okay, also, if anybody, I'll do something like real life right now to show you how to trade this stuff. If anybody wants to see that or, just to prove, what we do, how we do it. So they want us to,
Okay, so Joe, Taylor Creations is asking about thoughts on ETF.
ETF?
The ETF for Bitcoin. So, and I think everybody's got that question on their mind, and I know that there's something coming up at the end of September about the ETF. My view is that, and I could be totally wrong, I don't see it happening. Not this year. I really don't. Unless in the next week or two, they come out and they say, okay, the SEC says, okay, we're going to do this regulation-wise or whatever, yeah, it could happen. But who knows? The market could be going up right now in anticipation of the ETF getting approved. I would just be very, very careful and be aware and just have your stops in and not sit there and think that this thing's going to go to 20,000 again or for that matter, even 10,000. Let's just kind of keep it in check here, guys. And we can hope for the moon, but let's just keep it realistic, okay? It's yeah.
Yeah, that's the smartest way. But also, depending on who that group is, honestly, I think there's a good chance that something will be approved because they did a blanket denial, and then they had to rescind that denial and put the denial on. They had to deny the denial.
Do you think, Joe? Do you think it'll happen in September?
I think something will happen because one of them is and I'm trying to think of the name, the CDEO or CDEO. They're one of the Wall Street Mafia guys. You know what I'm saying? They're one of the fraternity guys. Okay?
Right. Yeah.
They're tight, and they're not going to let one of their fraternity buddies down. When I say fraternity, I'm talking about one of the inside Wall Street players, like Goldman Sachs. Whatever card game they want to play, wherever they go, they're going to open a door and let a chair and let them sit down. And with this other group too, whatever games being played, they're going to let them pull up a chair and sit down and put their chips on the table. So I don't know, I feel pretty good about it. And the only reason is that one, they're one exchange, and that back that was backed by Bitcoin. Take a look at that, and that's supposed to be breaking out in November. BAKKT back.
Yeah.
Follow them on Twitter. I do. And oh yeah, they made some crazy. They want this. Let me see if I can find it real quick. They're wanting Bitcoin. Okay, this is from their Twitter today. Bitcoin could greatly simplify the movement of global money. It has the potential to become the first worldwide currency. So, boom. That's their belief and thoughts, and
yeah,
of Bitcoin.
All right, so here's some questions real quick, Joe. Ben wants to know Taylor, real quick, he wants to know what's up with the whole review of the last ETF denials. And I'll just say this, I mean, in my opinion, I think they went through and they're probably weeding out, the ones that they don't want to get the ETF.
I agree with that. But
yeah.
Also, I'm a little bit more conspirator than you are. I think the three fraternity brothers, the big guys, the NASDAQ is not ready yet. And everybody wants to be the first mover. Everyone wants to be the first guy out there, set up, ready to go, just like if you were, the first guy on a public beach on some famous island, you're the first vendor out there, set up, ready to go, when the tourists hit from the cruise ships. And I think it had to do with some of the big boys aren't quite ready yet.
I know, I agree with that. I agree. I totally do. I think that, Goldman Sachs.
Keep these little boys out of there. We don't want the non-frat boys in there. We just want we just want the team in there, We're not ready yet. Yeah, Joe and JR, they got their little exchange going. Gemini's a perfect example. They're not one of the fraternity brothers. They're not one of the Wall Street guys. So, they got bounced to the curb. You know what I'm saying? I don't know if they'll ever get in. They got the money, the Bitcoin, and everything, and the proven track record. They don't have one glitch on their record. And they're one of the biggest in the U.S. And they're, blessed and certified and everything else. And, in what they're doing and the money management that they're doing. So, but that's my, 2 cents worth.
All right, so next question. Let's go over and look at Ben is asking, what is the strongest alt you're seeing out there right now?
Oh, I can tell you that. Let me see.
You gonna pull up DOG? You gonna pull up Dogcoin?
No.
I'm just kidding.
No, one that's more of a real coin. Anyway. Well, earlier when I was looking at it, Amizago was blowing it out. Okay, here it is right here. See, it's making that bull flag coming down. I expect it to blow back up. But see, it's not going to be, I'm not going to get into it now. I mean, I'll get into it. Came up over that long-term trend line right here. I don't know if you can see it on my chart or not, but break out, come back to this, and then run. But let me go through these coins that.
Let me real quick, Joe. Before you do that, yeah. Let me share mine. Hang on.
Yeah.
Let's see
well, Neo was blowing up earlier.
Which one?
Oh, Neo, and it's done pretty much one of those breakouts over the trend line, came back, it didn't quite test it, but it.
Well, there's that there's that XDN. I got that on the chart right there, showing you made that call. That was a good one. And real quick, while I'm on it, DGB. I know somebody had a question about that. while I've got it up, before I go to my coin. Here's DGB, and look at this. I posted a chart in Discord, and I said if it gets past this, okay, which I'm going to get this line out of here because it's broken it. But it did a nice job of getting the 10 and 20 to kind of hold. And now it's going to go up and test the 50 EMA up here at 480, looks like? Or no, 460? So it's probably going to test the 38.2 retracement at 476. And then, but right here is going to be some stiff resistance, I'm just telling you. And then you got this stock RSI that's overbought. Now, even though it's overbought, it can stay that way, like right back in here. Remember this back here, guys? So just because it looks like it's overbought right here, you know, don't just think it can't go up, because the RSI is still down here. So the RSI can still get into overbought, but who knows where it could be by that point. My chart, which I think is actually going to, where's it at? I mean, I'll just go over a couple real quick. I think, and everybody's been asking me about this one or have, ONT. Okay, I think ONT. Look at this. Look at this big bullish pennant right here. Look at this. This is beautiful. This is absolutely beautiful. Had this huge up move right here, and now it's in this pennant, and look, and it's holding right here. If this thing bottoms out right there, this thing's going right up here. Okay, it's going to hit a 1-to-1 retracement up here, and it could even actually go higher, but it still has this resistance. But I think if it breaks the 50 EMA, which is right there, and you can see we had a bearish engulfing back here, but if it breaks that 50, it's going to just try to climb right through it. So that's one I think that could potentially explode. I mean, it did back here for some reason. I don't know if there was any news or whatever, but who knows? Somebody may have known something back here, and now it's just kind of going sideways. That just makes me believe that at some point it's going to move back higher. I could be wrong, but that's one I'm really, really watching, and I'm probably going to take a position in small here pretty soon. So, what was somebody else was asking? God, there's so many. I do so many chart requests that sometimes I miss plays, right? But I did mention in Discord about RDD, and that it always seems to follow Dogcoin. You know, Dogcoin's one of those that if you look at, it's almost kind of like a leading indicator for alts, you know, for alt season. But RDD always follows it. So, you know, that's just one of those that you have to watch, you know, because this thing can spike out of nowhere. Always has in the past. But don't get caught holding the bag, because, you know, when it drops, it can drop and it can stay there for a long time, kind of like back in here. And then ICX is another one that's very interesting. Yeah, ICX. So right in here, you got a nice reversal pattern right here after the downtrend. So it kind of reversed off the 50% retracement. Still holding the 10, the 20 EMA. But that 50 EMA is in the way. So that could get kind of tough. And the 61.8 retracement. Anyway, that's my altcoins. I'm sure there's quite a few others, but anyway. Any other questions, guys?
And the main guy, I was going to show him this real quick. This XDN.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, the reason why I was going to show him, it's more of a art school thing than anything else. And I'd already had this up here before it even broke out. Remember, I had this long through here, and then, you know, we put it on Discord, and I think TradingView. I didn't put it on, you know, just for our guys in there. But anyway, it had, you know, several days, couple of weeks of consolidation, so we knew it was going to blow up at some point. And then yesterday, got a nice candle, and then it blew up today, and look where it ran up to, right where that, you know, that high pivot. I'm sure if we put a Fibonacci on there, it would line up with one of those lines. But even more crazy, I didn't even think about this, but this is the 200 on the daily. But if I hit the 4 hour, look, it came up, hit that 200, and 99% of the time, you know, when a price from an extended point runs up and it's at 200, it'll come back. So the computer algos or experienced traders, they knew exactly where to, you know, put their, you know, stop loss or whatever.
No, absolutely. Absolutely. So there's a question about GoChain. It's on Bittrex. You want to take a look at that, Joe?
Yeah. Let me. Oh my gosh. Okay. I might have to get off here for a second. I need to. I was telling everybody today, right when they got up here close to that 200. This is Litecoin, and it did the breakout.
Mm-hmm.
I was going to take about a third off the table as soon as I did that 200. And anyway, I got a lot of heat. Everybody's saying it's going to go to 50 and 30 and everything else.
Yeah.
You know, who knows? This still might, but for this weekend, I bet we hit that 200. I'm telling you that. You know, 200 in May, not $200, okay? If it does blow past it, then it'll for sure hit that 65. So, I don't know about that. But anyway, just something to be, you know, aware of. And the reason being is that, see, all that down here, so it's in the extended range and then came up. So, like I said, there's a huge percentage chance that as soon as it hits here, we're going to get a pullback. And that's what I was, you know, trying to tell people earlier. You can still make it, you know, I'm not really in it for the money, so to speak. I'm just trying to add more coins, if that makes sense.
Right.
So I'm not cashing out. I'm just flipping to try to get a coin here, 2 coins there, you know, whatever it may be. So anyway, but man, that's good to see. I just can't get off that chart here. Okay. All right. What was the? Sorry.
No, it's GoChain. GoChain.
Oh yeah, right here.
Yeah.
Bittrex. I wonder if he wants it. Oh yeah.
Yeah, it's on Bittrex. Bittrex.
Yeah. Let me. Yeah. Cool. All right. Well,
It actually, he said it got voted. He said it got voted Coin of the Month on Binance. And I'm like, and I think I looked at this one last night, and I was like, wait a second. There's not enough data to be able to really look at this too much. I mean, it's like, you know, you may have to go out to a 1 hour or a 4 hour chart to be able to try to get any kind of, you know.
Yeah, I don't know what that. Yeah, I don't know what. Yeah, that's crazy. Okay, next. I mean, I'm not trying to be funny. I don't know what to call this. You know, I don't even know how to do this.
I just, to me, yeah, I don't see any reason to. I don't know. I really don't. And I'm sorry, guys. And it's like I said last night. Until there's more data on the chart and I can see indicators, I'm sorry. I'm not.
Oh, perfect. I'd rather be in Ethereum Classic.
Absolutely. Yeah, there's no sense in getting into something like this that could. Who knows where it could go? It's at what, Joe? $12, $13. This thing could go to $5. For all we know, that's how these ICOs are. They open up and then they dive and they go lower. So don't fall into the pump, guys. Okay, don't fall into that pump. Yeah. Don't lose your money.
Yeah, I'm sorry. I was going to tell everybody a story. And actually I've only done 2, but the only I made some money on was salt, and got into, I want to say it was like $1 something, and then whatever the high that it ran down, I don't even remember, it's been so long ago. Just not anything I did special. I wish I could say, hey, I saw this, saw that. So, because there wasn't even really long-term chart, like John was saying. It just felt like it had run. You know what I mean? I just felt, man, I don't know if I want to gamble on, hitting the button again to see if it's, red or green. So I just sold. And anyway, that's the story of that. And then, but anyway, that was and also I played Veritasium, but I lost all my coins. I just couldn't tell you.
Oh, yeah.
On Ether Delta.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, it was about, I had, 250, and I don't know how high I got. So that's how much money I lost. I mean,
yeah. I mean, that's just how that stuff works. I mean, until I can get enough.
On Ether Delta, it wasn't that I got hacked. It wasn't anything like that. I was just an idiot, did something, hit the wrong button, did something wrong, and it just went out to cyberspace. I don't know where it went, but 250 Veritasium just, went into the ether.
Oh, yeah.
So, yeah, be careful, about all that.
Let's see what somebody else, let's see here. Does anybody else have any, take a look at TRX, Joe.
I thought I already had that.
Tron. Take a look at TRX.
Yeah, daily, let me clip out. Okay. Yeah, it's consolidated. It looks like it's right in there. I mean, it might be trading kind of like Ethereum. Let me see what Ethereum looks like here.
Yeah, you can definitely see the double bottom on it for sure.
Yeah. Matter of fact, it's trading better than Ethereum. Right now, it is better.
It's outperforming.
It's a safer bet than Ethereum.
It's outperforming for sure.
Yeah.
Of course, there's probably that is probably one of the most pumped stock or coins I've ever seen. So yeah, it's this is going to be good. Tron's going to be, now that I see it, and now what I've heard about on the backstories, that's going to be. I wonder why I needed to put it up here. That's going to be one of the ones that I definitely get into. Okay. And it's making that good little consolidation. Just pull back a little bit here. But anyway, I had a blue line across. See back over here, always look back and see right here that low pivot. That's going to be a little bit of something to get through. And then you have your 50. So expect Tron to come up, hit this line, hit the 50, maybe pull back some, and then try again. So it's going to churn right here. So if you're not in it already, you're going to have a minute to get in it, so to speak. And then right here is a beautiful little chart school deal. Here's a bull flag. It looks like it's going down. It's the opposite of what you would. It did the opposite of what you would think. See, here's a part of the flag there, and then boom, part of the flag here. See that? And then it bounced up, and there's the pole right down here. And some guys will compute it. My math skills in my head are not good enough to compute what the kickoff is going to be or the target. But you can take the top of the flag down to the post speed, and then add to the breakout, and that's the price target when it breaks out. If I didn't chop that up too bad. But anyway, that's how you do it. It might be right there right now, actually. Because it looks like about the same distance from here to here. So I'll just wait till it consolidated, let this 50 come down, and then as soon as it pops over it, you should be off to the races. Yeah.
And it should be a good one. It should be a good one, yeah. Let me see that 4 hour.
Does anybody have any other chart requests? Or any questions? Any questions or chart requests? Let's see what we got. I know there's a little bit of a delay, so let's give it a second here.
And then,
boy, Litecoin is breaking out.
Oh, really? Heck.
Yeah, it just broke the 78.6 retracement. Let me get it over here on my.
Look at that, Steve. I'm telling you.
Yeah.
Hey, if we stay here long enough, let me see what that is. Let me see what that 200 is. Come on, baby. 63.41.
Yeah.
63.41.
Oh, it's yeah. I got it on mine too, Joe. It's right there at it, and
yeah.
I'm just telling you, that's going to be some big time resistance right there. Although I think it's going to hit the target that I originally called for. I think it's going to hit like 65 to 66. I really do.
I was thinking about taking, man, this is, anyway, man, I was thinking about taking a little, out of third out there at that.
Right.
Man, I don't know what to do.
Well, here's something that I wanted to point out real quick is that
4/8/12.
you know we're going into you know we're at the end of August, guys, and going into September, all of the people that are major players in any kind of market are all coming back from vacation. Okay, I'm just telling you. That's why they tell you to sell in the summertime and just wait until the fall. But we're getting ready to get into some exciting times with crypto. Now, could we obviously have a crash of some point? Sure. I mean, you never know in the markets, especially in like late September, October. I mean, you can always go back and find something. But I'm just telling you, after that, start finding your coins, start finding Bitcoin, Ethereum, whatever, and just wait, because once we start getting into the holiday season, people are happy. They want to buy stuff. It's just it's that time of year when people start preparing for it because they know a run-up's coming. So
yeah,
it's just something to think about. I've seen it for 20 years and it never changes, and it's just one of those to be prepared for. But wow, look at Litecoin. Nice, very nice.
Yeah, but let's see. I mean, is everything else?
Here, I'll show. Let me pull. I'm going to pull my Litecoin. Here's my Litecoin 4-hour chart. Look at this.
But I think it's outrunning everything else right now.
It is. It definitely is.
See, that's crazy. Somebody knows something.
Here's my Litecoin 4-hour chart. Okay, look at this. It's coming up here to test these EMAs. It hasn't broken this area over here yet. Okay, so that's the thing to watch for, and you got the EMA. But if it breaks that, look at all this resistance up in here. So that's one thing to kind of watch for. I'll pull it out of the way there. But yeah, that's what I've got. That's pretty impressive. Nice move. Very nice move.
Yeah. Well, anyway, we were calling that from, what was it, a day or so ago?
Absolutely, it was. We called it.
Okay.
Yep. So
it's just how that gave us today. Look at that. It's moving up. 63.20. Okay, this is pretty cool. 63.20. Okay, I got 20 more cents. Yeah, 20 more cents. I don't know. Think about getting out of that thing at 20 cents.
It might pull off that, It might.
Yeah.
I think it's actually going to hit the target, though. That's my opinion, and I think Bitcoin's going to fill the gap, and then we'll see what happens after that. To me, and here's the other thing I'm going to point out. And I'm going to pull over one of my charts. Hang on here, and this is Bitcoin. And I love patterns, right? And so this is Bitcoin. And when I go back and I look at it, I mean, I'm sitting here and I look at it and I go, look I mean, the moving averages, right? And look at the stochastics. This thing is chasing the upper Bollinger Band, right? Okay? Here's the Bollinger Band. It came down, went sideways, got tight right in here, and then it's trying to chase up higher. So, you know, why would somebody be absolutely short right here? I have no idea. I really don't. I mean, if I was wanting to short it, would I want to short it maybe up around here? If it spiked? Sure. But, man, look at this. The RSI could still go a lot higher. The stock RSI can go sideways, right? And stay overbought. I mean, it just...
I will put a stop loss in at 63.20. Okay, we'll just see how this works out.
Yeah.
I think I'm crazy, but anyway, see if I can get an extra coin out of here.
There you go. Yeah, this is... yeah, it looks really good. I mean, we'll see. We'll see. I mean, I could always pull up... and guys, by the way, when I pointed out the BTC USD shorts, hopefully everybody caught that chart that I posted when it made a double top. That was the indication that we were into something, right? I mean, and people still kept trying to short it. You know, there are just so many naysayers out there, and everybody's trying to call for this and this and that. But when you look at charts, you got to get rid of the noise, right? You know, just don't. Some of these people on Twitter have no clue, and I'm just telling you. I pointed it out again. There are people on Wall Street that pay guys to create Twitter accounts and try to spread bad news or whatever. I'm just telling you, it's out there. They did this 20 years ago. They did it 20 years ago. They're still doing it today. It's nothing ever changes. So, you know, just be careful. Be really careful.
Yeah,
I mean,
raised it to 63.30. We're at 63.43 now. If you pull up a 1 hour chart, if you look over to the left, August 8th, you have all those big wicks. We're into those wicks right now. I don't know if you have my chart up for yours.
No, it's yours. It's all yours, bro.
Yeah, right there. Okay, 63.30 is what we're at 63.56 now. See, we're at the top. See this green line moving up and down? That's where we are right now, price-wise. We're coming up here. We might hit 64. That'll be the top of this wick.
No, it's going to hit it, Joe. Joe, it's going to break it. It's going to break it.
Okay, I'm going to take
no, it's going to break it. It's going to break it. Ben, you're saying, but if you use large leverage as well, then you should be all cool. No. Never. I mean, guys, I'm going to say it one more time and until I'm blue in the face. If you use leverage on anything, then God help you. Okay? I mean, I'm just telling you. So, I swear to God, I'm just telling you. I mean, don't listen to Crypto Elite or anybody that's playing with leverage. If you've got enough money to short something without using leverage, then fine, do that. But don't sit there and borrow money or use leverage from a brokerage. Okay, not only are they charging you fees, not only can you get kind of some sort of slippage, okay, on a trade. There are too many things that can go wrong when you do something like that. So I'm just telling you, that's my opinion. You can take it for what it's worth, but I've been in it for 20 years, and I've seen too many people destroyed by something like that. So, I mean, some of the guys that are making money off of it, hey, good for them. You know, happy for them. But they're idiots. Okay? That's all I'm going to say about that. You trade with leverage, you're playing with fire. Joe, what do you got? You still looking at Litecoin there?
Yeah, actually.
Mm-hmm. Oh, yeah.
Okay, yeah, I was...
Testing that area right up there? Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I got it at 63.73, so we'll...
Oh, yeah.
Okay, I'm happy with that. So...
Yeah, very nice. Yeah, I think it's going to head up to the target of, 65 to 66. I mean, I've got a 1-to-1 retracement or, ratio of 66. 66.50, I think, is what I had.
Now, if it'll pull back to 63, if it'll pull back, 63.50, if I can get it back to 60, I can get another coin right quick.
Right, yeah. Yeah. And then Bitcoin's still looking pretty decent. Let me look at Ethereum.
Yeah.
I'll tell you what. I'm gonna throw this chart over here real quick, Joe. Guys, this is Ethereum, okay? And look at this. I mean, actually, let me make these lines a little bit wider so that everybody can see them. Okay, on the Bollinger Bands for Ethereum. Okay, these are the Bollinger Bands, right? Look, this is a daily chart, okay? But look how tight this thing is. Look at this. Right here. Look at this. This thing is getting ready to make a move like no other. Now, could it go down? Sure it can. Could it go up? Yes. The only thing I'll say is if it just kind of goes sideways and even possibly comes back down here to the lower Bollinger Band, because what I like to think of with the Bollinger Bands is sometimes the lower Bollinger Band is like a springboard, okay, for going higher. So if this thing, if it, and it could be another day or two, or maybe not, but this is so tight right in here, because look at it. Look what happens when you get tight up in here. Here's tight, okay, and look what happens. Okay, we're getting tight again. Okay, keep that in mind. I'm not going to predict a direction, but I'm just saying keep that in mind. We are getting tight. Something's coming. I don't know what. So I'm just going to throw that out there, and we'll see what happens. I'm not making any calls on Ethereum right now. No way.
All right. Well, listen, I've got a couple of things right here. I got.
Yeah, you got to get going there. Yep.
Yeah, but if you don't look on that 10-minute chart, the volume at the bottom, there's a huge green candle on the last green candle.
Right.
And then the one we're working on now is about the same. There's like a lot of bots, a lot of traders got out then. The high of that candle was 63.74, and I was at 63.73. That never really happens. You know what I mean?
Oh yeah.
I mean, they could run to $80 tonight. But anyway, I'm just that 10-minute is way over. The RSI is over 80, or it was at the peak. And then what I'll do, I won't buy in until that RSI is below 40. Preferably 30. But when it starts getting around 40, I'll start looking for a pattern to get back in.
Yeah, because you're going to come back and test these EMAs a little bit right here, especially the 10 or the 12. You're going to test that. That's just one, And you say that's a 1-hour chart, so that's going to close here in about 35 minutes. So,
Yeah. So hopefully it'll pull back at least $1. I might be able to get, if it comes back to 62.70, that'd be crazy awesome.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Yeah.
So,
she's hitting some pretty good resistance, but the way things are lining up, I mean, this is my guess. The way the RSIs are, I mean, and we'll see what happens here in the next I don't know, 4 hours. I'll probably be in bed by the time all this happens. But maybe a spike up to 65, 66, and then we get a major pullback. That's kind of what I'm leaning towards, but I could be wrong. And I say major, but I'm thinking like Litecoin down to about 60, 60-ish, 60, 61. But then again, who knows? I mean, if it breaks this 50 EMA, it could go way higher. Could head up to 68, 69, maybe 70. There's just tons of resistance overhead, though,
Yeah, if you put that 4 hour back up there on Litecoin, I'd sit there and get that 200 I was telling you about.
Yeah.
Tell you what, that 200 is always a moneymaker point. I mean, it's just a lucky deal.
Oh yeah, it's the 200's always a good gauge. Sure. Yeah.
And then let's see what Bitcoin's doing. See, it didn't have the run that Litecoin did just now. I mean,
right.
None of them really. There's something going on with Litecoin. There's somebody somewhere doing something.
Yeah, I think a lot of it has to do with if you look at other altcoins that are out there. I think Litecoin really could be considered. It's even though it's one of the majors, it's probably still considered an altcoin. It's like. Yeah, it's one of those that's kind of running with everything else, But you could be right. There could be something going on. I mean, didn't they have this conference or?
Oh, it's coming up.
It's coming up, so that's probably what's going on. People are buying in, anticipation of what's going to be said or done, and if nothing comes out, then you watch how far. I mean, it could drop back pretty hard.
Yeah. But, okie dokie, like always, man, it's a pleasure.
Absolutely, Joe. Yeah. No doubt.
From you. Yeah. Anyway, we'll go from there.
Absolutely, brother. All right, man. Well, we appreciate you coming on, and I'll take it over from here. And if anybody wants to still hang out and look at charts, I'll definitely hang around for a little bit and. We'll take a look at them. But, Joe, we appreciate you coming in and giving all the info. And we'll see you online, man.
And I'll be in touch with you.
Okay, buddy.
Tell everybody about the other stuff, if you want to break that out.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
Okay, buddy. Have a good one, man.
Y'all have a great weekend. Everybody be safe. God bless.
All right. Bye. Thanks, Joe.
You got it.
Bye-bye. All right, guys. So, with that said, we appreciate Joe and all his information. And let me get him logged out of here. There we go. He's getting out. There we go. Oh, you get to see a picture of my girlfriend. And me. All right. So, does anybody have any chart requests or anything for me to look at? Or does anybody have any questions? Anything about how I look at stuff or... There's ICX. ICX is still looking good. VET. Okay, let me take a look at that. That was the one I've been looking at. Let's see. All right, so, obviously you had a very nice run with VET, okay? And I'll just expand this a little bit. So you had a very nice run with it, right? You got this and boom, boom, boom. Let me get this. I haven't updated this chart, so let me do it. Let's get rid of that 61.8, and it broke the 78.6. All right, so it hasn't quite hit the 127.2 retracement. Could it still run up to here? Sure it could. You're wanting to watch right now the 50 EMA. Okay, it's doing a good job of holding it, but you know, you had a top right here, and it has not yet made a higher high. You had a bearish engulfing candle right here, which is pushing price lower, but then you got this nice little hammer candle right here, and they're trying to force it back up. So, gosh, it's a tough one to call. It really is. If you've been in it for a while, then take your profits. Are you really going to try to squeeze out this much more? You know, that's a tough call. Tough call. I don't know that I would wait around for that. I mean, obviously I could be wrong and it could just blast off, but you know, if you got good profits, then, you know, then I would say just bail, because you got this moving average right here that's hooking down. It could obviously come way back down and test it. A lot of people have made profits, so don't be the last ones. You know, it's like game of musical chairs. Don't be the last one. So, can you hear me? Okay, Crypto Creek wants to look at WAN. Let me take a look at WAN. I think I may have had WAN in here. Let's see, let me save that. Let's go to WAN. Yeah, I got WAN. Oh my gosh. I haven't looked at WAN in like, look at this. July 25th was the last time I looked at it. Let me see what happened. Oh my gosh. Look at this, guys. Is this not amazing? Look at this. I haven't looked at WAN. You saw the update. I mean, the last time I updated was like July 25th. Look where the Fibonacci hit. Back here at the 261.8, and that's where it bounced. Right? That's why Fibonacci is so important in downtrends or uptrends or whatever. But look at this. When it broke the 127.2, it came down and it hit the 261.8, and that's where it bounced from. Wow. All right, so let me do this. Let's remove that. Let's update this. Wow, that's incredible. Too funny. Okay, let me do this. Let me get that volume out of there. It's blocking my way. All right, let's do this. Let's just see what happened on this move. And I would almost bet the 127.2 hit right there. Yep, sure did. Okay, so from this swing high to this swing low, and it came up and hit the 127.2. Now it's retracing, right? So let's do this. Let's do another retracement here to here. Excuse me. And let's throw in some fibs. There we go. Boom. Just kind of guessed it was a 50. All right. Then what you want to do, okay, if everybody's watching, now you can do another fib from this high to this low. And obviously it hit the 61.8, which was the resistance. And this is how I come up with this, guys, if you're watching. Okay? It's not a secret. I've pointed it out. I can do it again. But, you know, from this high to this low, you got the rally, and it came close to the 127.6 up here, right? So then you take your low to your high, and then you start watching for retracements to the downside. Came down and hit the 50% retracement. Once you know you've got an established low, then you take your swing high to swing low. Now you come up and see what's blocking it on the upside. It's the 61.8 and it's the 50 EMA. All right? It's not real hard, but at the same time, you could also do this. And this is a daily. It works a lot better on a 4-hour chart. But throw this to there. Swing low, swing high. Move that out of the way so you can see what's going on. And throw your 38.2 in there. Throw your 50. And then there you go. It gets kind of cluttered on a daily chart. That's why I don't like doing it on a daily chart like that. I prefer doing it on a 4-hour chart. But you can see and try to, you know, you look at your EMAs, right? So you got the 10 and the 20 hooking up. You got the 50 hooking down. And so you can kind of figure that somewhere in here on a pullback is where it might hit, okay? Right? So somewhere in here, probably around the 61.8 is what I'm guessing, maybe the 50, before you get a decision whether you're going to go up or whether you're going to go down. The way these EMAs are hooking like this, you could go up, hit the 50 again, and then go sideways a little bit, and then see what happens. I mean, you got a fib cluster up here. This thing could go, you know, boom, boom, up to here. I would say anywhere below this, right here, this 50% retracement right here, because see over here was resistance, and then it broke it. I would say anywhere below this is probably your get out point. Okay? Just my opinion. So I will save that one chart. Any other questions? Chart requests? Take a look and see what LTC is doing. Seems to be the hot chart of the night. I think I posted this, maybe the uptrend line right here. So it's still holding that. So yeah, I mean, obviously has to get above this area, which I think it will. Right here, 4-hour chart. Got a 38.2 retracement. Just telling you guys, I would be absolutely shocked if it does not hit my target of 65 to 66. Okay? 38.2 retracement. Right there. I will be shocked. And it could go higher, for all I know. It could go up here. But right here, that's the initial target, and that's what I came up with. EOS. Let's take a look. Let me throw this back over here. EOS, that's one I made a call on. Let's see. Wow. Wow. Nice. Very nice. All right. So now that it's broken resistance, okay, and I'll just point this out. Look at this. That's where I had the initial target. And I think when I originally posted the call, I would have to go back and look at it, but I think I was calling for somewhere up in here around the 61.8 or 78.6. But anyway, I had to revise it because I forgot about this over here, which was old support, which became resistance, and then that's when it hit over here. So now that it's broken, let's take that out, and now we're bumping into the 50% retracement, 678. It could very easily hit the 61.8 or the 78.6 before it finally, comes down and maybe retests this uptrend line right here. But let's see what happens. It could turn at any time. The 50 EMA or the 50% retracement is, some people like to look at that as a reversal point, but to me, 61.8 or 78.6, those are the major reversal points. And your RSI still has room to go. So in the next couple of days, I would be thinking that's probably going to be a good time to sell or get out, if not now. I mean, it's already hit a target, so if you've made money and profit, then then I would certainly take some off the table. Right? So you got your 50 MA. It's going to obviously go a little bit above it and then probably come back down and test it. So don't be surprised if it does. We're way overbought here, getting close to overbought on the RSI. So yeah. Okay. Any other chart requests, questions? ADA. Let's take a look at ADA. There's guys, you have to. Here's the thing: when you start seeing things that are moving and your coins aren't, you could look at it two different ways. You could say, okay, well maybe something's wrong with mine, my coin, or maybe it just hasn't been pumped yet. Because that seems like what's going on is like everybody's getting really excited about these. There we go. Okay, so there we go. All right, so Cardano has broken. Let's see, let's take that out. I think this is an old chart. Yep, it is. All right. Boy, did a nice job of holding this down here. Let's pull this out a little bit. This might have some room to run, guys. This might have some room to run. It's like I said earlier, when you bounce off the lower part of the Bollinger Band, it kind of it's like a springboard in effect. So let's see where we're at on, is it the 61.8? It's close. 50, yeah, there we go. Wow. Okay, and then let me take, yeah, I think that one's still okay. Wow. Interesting. Okay, so if ADA And this is a 4-hour chart. Let me throw it on daily. Yeah, okay. Look at this. Look at these Bollinger Bands on the daily chart. They're getting really tight, okay? Real tight. It's doing a nice job of holding the 10 EMA right here and trying to bounce through it. And could possibly hit the upper Bollinger Band right here at the 161.8. And the RSI is still low here. Stock RSI is oversold, but we know what that can mean. Wow, this needs to be watched real close, because this thing could potentially just, like, off this lower Bollinger Band and just go higher. So keep an eye on ADA. Keep an eye on it. Oh, thanks. Thanks, man. I appreciate it. Doing my best. Doing my best.
Sorry, I don't know that.
Yeah, doing my best here. Wow. ADA. That looks interesting. Okay. Any other chart requests? Any other questions? And by the way, guys, there is no such thing as a stupid question. So don't be afraid. I'm not going to make fun of you. I'm not going to do anything like that. I was a newbie also. Oh, wait a second. Okay, I see your question. Can the RSI for EOS be bumped to 80 since it's pushing against it? Sure it can. Yeah, I mean, here's the thing. I mean, RSIs, I mean, it's weird. I mean, you can look at them, I mean, and a lot of people will say, okay, well, it's oversold or it's overbought, which I do all the time. But that only means you have to watch for potential pullbacks, right? And depending on the time frame you're looking at, depends on, you know, when you buy and sell. So if you're a short-term trader, long-term trader, you know, that's the stuff you're looking at. But RSIs are, everything indicator-wise reacts to price movement, right? So that's one thing you have to keep in mind. I could go back, and if you look at the S&P 500 chart, and if you go back to when Donald Trump was elected, you know, look at that thing. That thing just kept going up, 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 up. Indicators stayed oversold or overbought for so long, you know, because everybody kept trying to pick the top. And there's nobody knows when the exact top is. It's almost like in Bitcoin. Nobody knows when the exact bottom is in. I mean, we could be at the bottom right now. You know, but everybody's wanting to try to short it here, buy it there. You know, just, you know, that's why I say don't go all in or, you know, on something. Just take positions accordingly. You know, don't risk everything. You know, just make sure you have a position in it somewhere just in case it does go. You know, but there's ways to position yourself, you know, to take advantage of movements. But you don't have to go all in, because what if you went all in on one coin and it kept dropping, dropping, dropping? Okay, well, you can sit there and go, okay, well, the indicator showed me this. Well, they can stay oversold, overbought for times of period, you know, periods of time. So just keep that in mind. Okay, Ben, let me look at ONT. Let's see here. I think I had that one up just a minute ago. There it is. All right. And so let's do this. All right, Ben. So if you're looking at ONT, okay, with me here, okay, and I got a couple of different theories, okay, as far as what might happen, but it's looking really good on a daily chart, and here's why. Okay, I've pointed out the bull pennant, right? Look at this. You had the huge run up, right? Okay, right in here. And now you've got this, and some people want to call it a triangle, but basically what it is, it's a bull pennant, right? Looks like a pennant. It's holding this line right here, okay, which is the lower part of the pennant. It's getting compressed, okay, with the 50 EMA. So one of two things is going to happen here, okay? One is that it just falls apart and it breaks and it goes lower. I've got the fib retracements right in here, okay? And it breaks through that. It could head fake people, right? That's always a possibility. But it could go down to the 50, could even go down to the 61.8, and then go higher. But it could also hold this area, which is doing a nice job of, and then just finally, who knows, maybe tomorrow, you never know, have one of these type of candles that comes out of nowhere, right? That's how it works. So you have to watch that area. You got your upper Bollinger Band right here, which is still sitting, coincidentally enough, where the last high was. Just barely above it, right? So it's one of those that I just sit there and I want to take a position and it's so bad, because I really truly believe that it's probably going to go up, right? I just think it's going to break out. There's too many times where I don't see something like this, a big huge move, and then consolidate like this, and then it doesn't make another move, right? So yeah, it's a tough one. I mean, and where to put your stop losses and stuff, it's up to you on your risk, where your risk is. But you could also go back and say, okay, well, the RSI is holding steady right in here, right? It's not hooking down or going way down. Stock RSI has been dropping. Look at this. It's been dropping, and the price is just kind of still holding its own while it burns this off. So if this comes down and it gets down into here, then it's going to give it enough room, to go up. That's my guess. I'm just throwing it out there. I could be totally wrong, but that sure looks like a bull pennant to me, if I ever seen one. So hopefully that helps. Okay, so how do I use them both at the same time? Okay, so, and this is really, and this is one of those things where one day I was kind of looking at things, and I think I actually picked it up from somebody on Twitter. I can't remember. But I was like, wait a second. I kind of like that stock RSI, but then again, I want to look at the RSI. Okay? And so let's go look at something. Let's go look at Bitcoin. All right, so I'll throw Bitcoin's daily chart on here. Okay, oops. Throw that up there. Okay. So if I was to go back here, right, and let's just look at tops in the market, right? Okay. So back here was a major top in Bitcoin, right? So look what happens. Okay, you got your RSI right here. It's above 80, looks like. and your stock at RSI is right here. Okay, so when you get both of those lined up fairly evenly, looks like a top to me. Now, you may have had an indication back here that something was coming because you had a top here and a top here. So you start looking at divergences, right? And there was one and I can't remember where it was at, but I was looking at one the other night, and it was just so obvious, and I totally missed it. But you start looking like right in here, you start looking at divergences. You know, it's like you get a pullback, you get the nice up move, and then you start looking at divergences. You know, God, those are just so powerful. And then this move, obviously, let's take a look at this. This is a daily. I mean, this up channel right here that we're in, I mean, this is, you know, some people are probably calling it a bear flag, which it could be. It could be just one huge bear flag, and then it breaks out of it and comes all the way back down to here. But until I start seeing some of this area over here break, no way. No way. You know, I got to see, like, I think I posted 60. I got to see 6,600 break. If 6,600 breaks on Bitcoin, then yeah, I'll be pretty bearish. But right now, it's just kind of riding this up. You know, the EMAs have all turned. They're trying to hook up, staying in the channel. I mean, this thing could just like grind its way higher for another month or more. All right? And God help those people that thought this was like a head and shoulders. I mean, it's not. So, anyway, we'll see what happens. And I think the chart that I was looking at that had the, yeah, in fact, I know exactly which one it was. It was RDD. And I think I mentioned that one to you guys in Discord. Because I mentioned about how it follows Dogcoin. Let me just pull this up. Was it a 4-hour chart? Oh, no, it was actually Dogcoin. Hang on. Yeah, it was actually Dogcoin. That's the one I missed. Let's do this. You guys are going to love this chart. Look at this one. All right. So check this out. Not only did it have a falling wedge, right? Look at this. Let me just make that line bigger. Okay. I mean, this was classic. Not only did it have the falling wedge, but then if I scroll in a little bit, look at this. You had stochastic RSI making higher lows while price was going down. It was getting compressed. Do you see that, guys? Here, I'll zoom in a little bit. It may be tough to see. But look at this. Look at this. It was like you got a low here, indicator here, you got a low here, you got a higher indicator. Almost a lower low, and maybe it was, I can't tell, it may have double bottomed, and a higher indicator. Boom. And that's what you get. So, am I buying Dogcoin? No. No way. Because you got RSI way up here, 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 here. I'm not buying it. If it drops back down and maybe hits and I'll look at it later. But if it hits down on this trend line or this, top part of the wedge and retests it and holds, I may buy it. We'll see what happens. I got to see what these indicators are going to do first. But look at that. Bullish divergence right there. Classic. Absolutely classic. Does that make sense, guys? Ben, I did do ONT. Did you not see it? I did the ONT chart. So, real quick. All right. See that? I just put this is dog coin, and then right there. So you can see higher low, higher low, higher low, and then boom. Okay. Oh, okay. I got you. Any other chart requests or questions, guys? I mean, I'm here for you guys. What you got? Anybody got anything? Wow, look at that move. That is like a double. That is a double, guys, on dog. Wow. Unbelievable. How far do I think LTC will go down? Let me take a look. Oops, wrong chart. Okay, so basically it's hitting the upper part of the Bollinger Band right here. Still holding above the 10 and the 20. I would say if it's going to pull back hard, then right in here where the 10 EMA and the uptrend line is, 60, 50. Yeah, so 60, 50 if it does. I mean, personally, I don't think it's going to go that low, but that's just me. I think it's like I told Joe, I think it's going to break this, and I think it's going to go up and test the 50 EMA. Right up here. I mean, I truly believe that we'll get up there to the 38.2. I mean, once you break one fib retracement, you're usually going on to the next one, right? So despite what happens in the next hour or 2 hours or whatever, I think this is eventually going to hit up here to the 38.2 and maybe wick up to the 50 EMA. That's my opinion. Let's see, how EMAs or MAs. Okay, so, okay, Ben, have a good one, buddy. Appreciate you coming in. Hang on 1 second, guys. Give me 1 sec. right, sorry about that, guys. Let's see here. So, moving averages. Well, first of all, have you seen my video on moving averages? That's the question. You know, because I go into detail on that. You know, you want to look at, I use exponential moving averages, only because they're a little bit faster than just regular moving averages. And then you can always throw in, like Joe has a, hang on one sec. Okay, sorry about that. So anyway, you know, you get your EMAs, which I've gone over, and I'll throw them in the channel. Here's the ones I look at. All right, so there's your EMAs, and then you want to maybe throw in, like Joe, you know, has a simple moving average. 200. Okay, he likes to look at that one. It works really well for him, and I actually threw it in on one of my charts. So everybody's a little bit different, but moving averages, basically your smaller moving averages, you're taking a 20, you know, or a 10-day period of people buying and selling stuff. And it's almost like a momentum indicator in a way, right? It's probably one of the best indicators of, you know, price action. So that's what you want to look at. You know, that's why I always harp on getting above the 10 and the 20 EMA. If you can get above those and hold those, then you establish a trend, okay? That's just how I look at it. So, yeah, they look at, yeah, absolutely. They work for, you know, any time frame, really. I mean, you could look at a 1-hour chart, 2-hour chart, 5-minute chart. The thing is that once you start getting too far away from a moving average, then you know it's going to come back and retest it, right? So when you're looking at a chart, and you get a 10 EMA that is at, let's just throw it out there. I'll just throw any kind of price. Say a 10 EMA is at $5. Okay, it's sitting at $5. And your price is sitting at 8. Then you can almost guarantee that at some point fairly soon, your price is going to come back and work its way back to the 10 EMA to catch up, right? Before it holds. And if it's strong, then it'll bounce off that, and you'll continue to trend higher or lower because it works in reverse. So that's how you play it. Does that make sense? I can go in depth on that, you know, maybe I'll do a video or something this weekend since we got a holiday weekend, but I can go in depth on that, you know, and give you guys a video to look at. So, but I thought I went over that in my video on Fibonacci and EMAs, but I'll try to separate them out and do a little bit better there. And by the way, guys, our website is in the works. We are getting close. I am told that we should have it going by the end of the weekend. And then, of course, we have the Discord channel. So, you know, hopefully that's working out well. I just much prefer Discord than Telegram. That way everybody can kind of navigate around this, and it's got the we can do different things. We can news channel. We got a announcements page. We got, and then you don't have to click on so many Telegram channels. This is all just nice and neat. All right. Does anybody have any other questions or chart requests? Yeah, I mean, followers, oh well. I mean, if somebody didn't want to follow me, that's fine. I mean, maybe I'm not getting my name out there enough or whatever, but that doesn't bother me. I mean, it's nice to have some followers, but as long as I can help people and teach them stuff, I could care less about whether I have 30,000 or 200 people, following me. I just want to help people. That's all I'm here for. One. Yes, we did one. Okay, so you can go back and watch that one. But yeah, as far as followers, I have no ego. I don't care about ego or anything like that. I just want to help people. So well, I sure appreciate it. I really do. Like I say, if I can save you guys and save you guys money and at the same time help you make money, then that's all the reward I need. Okay, I don't want anybody to go through what I did 20 years ago. I mean, I had a good run there for a little bit, and then it got bad because I was stupid and arrogant and thought I knew everything, but I just don't want to see anybody go through that because it's painful. It really is. Nah, you don't owe me. Like I say, I mean, I've put it out there. If somebody wants to donate, they can. I don't care if it's a penny or $2 or whatever. I don't, I'll, God works in mysterious ways, and I'm sure I'll get taken care of at some point. But I'm not worried about that. IOTA. I don't think so. I don't think we looked at that one. Let me look at it. Let me throw my LTC chart back over here. That was a 4-hour. No, that was a daily. Let me throw that there. Okay. Let's take a look at IOTA. And I'm assuming you want the USD pair. Golly, I have not looked at this one since July. Oh my gosh. Wow. Okay. I've looked at it before, but that was way back when. Let me get all that stuff out of there. Oh my. Let's see. Oh wow. Looks pretty good. Looks pretty decent. Okay, so right in here, you've got the 50 moving up, you got the 10 and the 20, and then you're coming into the 200. I mean, you got the 50, 100, you got all these moving up, which are powerful, that are trying to move up through it. Okay? Wow. But you had a bearish engulfing back here, which drove price lower. So could it come back and hit the 50 EMA? Very possible, but right in here you got the 10, the 20. You really kind of want to hold this area and let this work its way up before it tries to push it higher. But this 200 hooking down like this makes me think that at some point, and not immediately, but at some point it might come back and retest it. It did a nice job of retesting it right there. Man, IOTA Lex, that's pretty nice. It looks pretty decent. So, yeah, it's not bad. I like it. It's consolidating. Yeah, it's just kind of consolidating. I mean, when you have this type of move right here, and I would almost say that's like a 50% move or more. You got to consolidate a little bit. So, could it be flagging in here? Yeah, could be. Could be kind of flagging a little bit before it goes up again. But it could could move down to here, right, and then take off. So your stochastic RSI is hooking up. RSI still looks pretty decent. So yeah, I mean, worth watching. That's for sure. Okay, guys, I think I'm getting ready to get off here, and I just want to appreciate everybody for coming in. We'll obviously do this again here in the future pretty soon. But I want to thank everybody for coming in. Obviously, if you need info, the Discord channel's there. I'll try to get some videos on there, training videos and stuff here in the next few days or whatever. But thanks again for coming in, and we will see you guys later. Thanks, guys.